Welcome to the show, William Mickey Stevenson. You spent your formative years recording doo-wop and gospel music and joined the Tamla Motown label in its founding year, 1959. You were head of the A&R department during the company's glory years of the mid-60s with artists such as the Supremes, Marvin Gaye and Temptations, Four Tops, Stevie Wonder and Martha and the Vandellas. You were also responsible for organising and establishing the company's in-house studio band, which came to be known as the Funk Brothers. You wrote and produced many hit records for Motown, co-wrote and produced several as well. Your biggest successes were records such as Dancing in the Street, which you co-wrote with Joe Hunter and Marvin Gaye, and you also did It Takes Two with Marvin Gaye. Jimmy Ruffin's What Becomes of the Broken Hearted that you produced. So you've done an incredible amount of work in the music industry. There's so much more to talk with you about, Mickey. It's so fantastic to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And please do tell us more.
Pleasure to be here. Yeah. By the way, did you get my book? You got to get the book because everything you want to know and history of Motown is in this book.
Wow. Okay. Where can we get it from? Is it available?
Well, you can get it through on my site, but you can also get it from Amazon.
Okay.
All right.
Brilliant.
The A&R man, Motown's first, William Mickey Stevenson. Now, this is the whole story, the Motown story.
Yeah.
From day one.
I mean,
all right.
What we'll do is put a link to your book.
Well, they tried to make a movie 3 times with me, and I refused to it because I didn't want them to change anything. 3 different companies called me. It's a great movie. I said, yeah, but you got to keep it real.
That's right.
So the people understand it's real. Don't make it put some false stuff in it because there's enough real things there to know and learn about.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the trippy thing. That's the trippy thing. People always want to change your story.
Yeah. Want somebody to get shot and somebody gets stabbed and all that kind of dumb crap.
Yeah.
Let's get down to the real deal. When you have a gift, a God-given gift, you want to know how to work it. That's what this book tells you.
That's right.
You follow me? No matter who you are. If you got gifts, we wouldn't be talking. You know what I mean?
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. I played with a couple of Motown acts as well. Back in the day, I sang with Stevie.
Yeah.
On Lou Rawls' United Negro College Fund.
Fantastic.
I sang, and then I'm the guy that replaced Lionel Richie in the Commodores.
Oh, okay. All right. You know what I'm talking about here.
I got a little history on there, you know what I mean? But Mickey, so what's your feelings about today in the music world and what needs to change as far as, especially because you can't make money from streaming?
No, that's a real setup there. Unbelievable. Where you want to start, because there's so many things that I think should be more comfortable for the artists and creative people that's not happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're being set up for other things to sell and not the purpose of the gift that was given to them for the people to enjoy. You know what I mean? They use it just to draw the audience and then go someplace else and do something else completely.
Yeah.
That bothers me. And I don't think they're going to change for a while. I think the young people are now beginning to reach for some of the traditional, original stuff for some reason. And that's a good thing.
Really good thing.
Because it's really strange out there. Really strange.
Yeah.
That's my opinion now.
I'm an advocate for the human sound. And, you can't beat the sound of a human being because it's instant gratification, right?
Yes.
And I always say, if you want to hear something like how real humans are, if a guy's going to play some blues tonight, step on his foot before he go on the stage. It's going to sound a little different.
That's good. Oh, that's good. That's good.
And it might be the notes you played every night, but you got a little pain in there now. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah, make it real.
Yeah. You can't get that from a computer. You got to go program that in the computer. And the other one I want to say is because Bette Midler, she she sued Spotify and Pandora because they spin her song 4 million times and they send her a check for $114.
Oh, ridiculous.
You can't make a living. So,
No,
but
that's ridiculous.
the
But
good
they
thing
do
about it,
because they run the commercials and the bought time, and they can get commercials and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff between whatever. And
yeah,
it's not the same. And I don't know if it's going to be fixed other than people, the new artists or the artists that are here. They got to come together like they're doing with strikes that's going on right
right,
now.
right, right,
Mm.
The strikes that's going on in Michigan with the automobile people. They got
yeah,
strikes going on with the unions. They got writers and producers in the entertainment business. They're striking because they're not getting none of what's happening, and all the funds is going in the other direction, and they're supplying the audience. That's
yeah,
insanity.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
unless they strike on it, they got to strike on it. It'll change.
Well,
You know what I
that's what
mean?
they need to do because I lived in Hollywood for many, many years back in the '80s. But the trippy thing is that when I go to a meeting, I always tell those guys, just remember, it's the music business. It's not the business music. Without the
Mm.
music, you don't have a
Very
business.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, brother. Yep. They got to do something about it. We got to strike. That's the bottom line. We got to and stop it or make a change it. Other than
Yeah,
that, forget it.
yeah,
Get
because a
going.
lot of these guys that's doing this, they ain't never wrote a song in their life.
Ever. Have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, man. So, you know,
But they know how to make money off of it. That's for
they
sure.
do, but they're doing it to people that creating the content, and we got to
Well,
respect.
how about this, man? What about the BMI and ASCAP? They should have something to say about this situation. I mean, that whole operation there should be involved.
Unless
I've
they're
mentioned
getting
this
paid
before. I
off.
don't get an answer.
Yeah, that's right. But see, what we're doing at Music for Global Change is, you know, Marvin Gaye was my hero because I was a youngster at the time, and I watched that music from that time, John Lennon and Bob Marley and Nina Simone. I they helped stop the war
Tell me about it. Yeah.
with music. It was the young people that stopped that war. I just watched Woodstock again this morning, right?
Wow.
And it was the young people that they play a few of their songs, then they play one about the war, and we need to stand up. You're right. We need to stand up and start you know, our own thing. With Music for Global Change, I'm looking for all the young people that write positive music.
Oh boy, we can use the help,
Mm.
and we got to come together.
Yeah,
The best part of this is that the creative people, whether they're writing the songs or playing the instruments or giving poetry or whatever, they got to come together. They can't be, you over here, I'm over here, and nobody's. They got to come together.
that's
The
right.
more they come together, then the statements get powerful.
Yeah.
Individual statements don't mean as much.
That's right.
When they come together, it gets powerful. So we should be on the news talking about what's happening with the music and the writing and the artists on all these news stations. They got 25 of them on the air.
Yeah,
Somebody talks every 10 minutes. A whole new presenter is talking. You never hear about what's really going on with this whole industry that we're in.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
we need to have those things should be stated like they mention all the other wonderful things that's going on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I feel because I want to start festivals, and I'm going to go get people and I want to have a museum at the festival so I can show Marvin Gaye and how they stopped the war. Right now, we need to use it to stop racism.
Uh, that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah,
Whole nother ball game that
and
needs to be examined. Mainly for the youth, man. We can't keep holding on to this old traditional garbage.
that's right.
And while they're holding on, they're shooting the young people. Get
Yeah.
out of here. This don't even make sense.
No.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in charge of the industry and demand and manage everything, remove the guns, remove the this, put the knowledge back in the picture. It makes no sense.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Especially for America, it makes even less sense.
Yeah.
Very true.
Mickey, so you said we should organize. You know.
Yeah, we got to come together. There's different ways of doing it. You know, different artists, production companies. We got to come together and have an idea of how we're going to work with the news, the internet setup, the way they're taking the records, and you punch on your phone, you get the sound, you get the look, then all of a sudden 10 commercials go by. I mean, the guy is set up where no lose position.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got to come together.
Yes.
As artists, managers, the managers can't be happy about it. They're losing money by like a big dog. So, it's got to come together. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to teach young people about the industry, because if I go see some young people, they turn around, they looking at the band, they haven't learned any stage etiquette.
Well, that's true. That's a whole nother ball game there. But some of the shows that are out now, the only ones that really pop are the history people, like the Marvins, not Marvin, but the artists that, because they came to entertain and really express themselves. Where now the other stuff, it's just amazing to me that you can tell by Earth, Wind and Fire, people like that, when they come on, when they're there, the audiences is lined up forever. They come to see and get a real deal. And I just use them as an example, but right on down the line, the Stevie, the Smokies. I mean, when you go see the show, you get a show. You get and they be honest with you. They express themselves honestly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It should be more of that. I don't know. I have no solution. All I know is we got to come together to make a difference.
Well, we're gonna come with you.
That's the bottom line.
We're in with you. I mean,
yeah, I'm doing a couple of musical plays right now. I'm doing "Sing It from the Heart." It's being mounted and put together. And what I did was go back to Billie Holiday, Josephine Baker, Donna Washington, Mahalia Jackson, Bessie Smith, Dorothy Dandridge, Eartha Kitt, Lena Horne. Then I bring you in a young group now. So now the young girls and guys, they are looking at the artists that fought and battled to become our stars.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know, what energy did you put there? What can we do to get that going so that we can be recognized for our talents? Because gifts are given to everybody. So this show is based around history, artists, and the young ones coming in. And they talk back and forth. And it's all done in music, of course.
I love it.
And it's called Sing It from the Heart. It's bottom line, if you do it, you got to come from the heart. You just can't do it. You got to come from a place that stables you and make you want to do more and be better. You know what I mean?
I always say, you can go to school all you want, learn everything that you want to learn, but it's still going to come down to one thing. How does it feel?
Yes. That's very good, my brother, because that's exactly what it comes down to. And see, we all have gifts, see? And those gifts, you got to work with it.
That's
Other
right.
than that, it just sits there.
Yeah.
I mean, not a gift. Some of us have 2 and 3 gifts. And the negative forces around us will try to tell you, what are you doing that for? That means nothing. They try to discourage you. If you listen to that voice, you can't move on with the gift that's given you. You got to find a way to walk away. Have you ever had this happen? You're creating something and maybe the phone will ring or something, and you get on a conversation, and right away they go in a whole other direction. You put it back down. Now you can't remember where you were going with what you were dealing with. You know what I mean? The negative forces working. You know what I mean? The positive forces is you're creating.
Yeah.
The negative force don't want you to go nowhere, so the phone rang. If you get into that conversation, you got to get your head back into the creative mode. You got to learn to say, "Hey, can I get back with you?" Because they'll cut you right off. You know what I mean?
My mom took me to see the Motown review when I was 10 years old in Oakland, California. You know what I mean? And what I loved about it, the Funk Brothers blew my mind because they didn't move off the stage.
Nope.
You'll have the Supremes come up, Smokey Robinson, and the Funk Brothers is playing with segues to the next act. Now, this is what was mind-blowing. They didn't have monitors back then.
You're right.
You couldn't hear you. Yeah, but they were in perfect pitch because they practiced so much. You know what I mean? That all them groups back there, the Temptation, they had perfect pitch. They didn't need somebody to tune their vocal up and all that stuff like that, right? And that's we got to get back to that, to singers actually reaching the note. Don't reach up to the note. That's good enough. Some of these engineers, hey, I can take it from there. I don't want you to take it from there. I want to do it right.
Well, right? You're absolutely right about that. And I got to tell you, in bringing the Funk Brothers together, it was not just musicians that were at someplace playing and they got a contract or a deal to come and record. I had to pick. In the beginning, that was going on all over the place. For me, I had to pick musicians that was not just the instrument that they were playing, but that they're thinking they wanted to be special themselves.
Right.
So I went through, for each artist, each musician, I maybe went through about 10 or 15 bass players or guitar players and all that. And I would talk to them. I could see them playing, but I would talk to them about, well, you creating anything on your own? Well, no, man, I'm just playing a session here. This is what I do. Well, don't you ever feel like writing something special?
Yeah.
Well, I tried. So I pull out to them to see, were they just making a living playing, or they really wanted to say something with their instrument?
Right.
When I got good answers for me, and I would go to their clubs where they're playing at, like in a club here or on a gig there. I'd go around just trying to find, maybe I need a good guitar player. I need this, I need that. And when I find, say like a James Jamerson, I had to watch him maybe 5 or 6 times because I heard the playing, but the look on his face was so stern.
Yeah.
And then I would hear him sing the notes while he was playing them. In other words, he'd be singing the notes. Yeah. I remember, I got to tell you, when I got him, he was on upright. You got me?
Right.
So he'd be boom, 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 boom. But it was a sad look on his face, but he's playing notes. So after watching him for about 4 or 5 times, I called him over. I said, man, I hear you humming the notes while you're playing. I hear you humming a melody in your head. You always do that? He said, yeah, man, because I got to sing. Some of the stuff is playing, and this artist is nothing happening. So I got to make my own show and start. I said, you know what? Why don't you come and play with me at Motown? Play the bass first. He said, well, man, I said, hold it. How much money are you making? He told me, I said, man, I'll double that. Forget that money. Come over here. Be with me. He said, well, why? I said, because you got a passion for this that you can't express playing these stupid songs out here with this situation. And I'm sure you're going to get tired of it. And then that gift you got is going to just go down, 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 down. Why don't you come with me where you can stretch out? If something goes wrong, we can listen to it. You can change it. He said, you go through all that? I said, for you, yeah. He said, why? Because we need this with our show. We need this with our music.
Right.
And just playing is not enough. We need creative stuff happening. And he said to me, man, you got a passion for this thing, haven't you? I said, I got the same passion you got, but I got a way to work it out. You sitting here, but you can't work it out. Now you come with me, you can work it out. He said, okay. The day he walked into the studio, he never stepped out. I went after each musician looking for other than just playing. What is in your head? What do you want?
Right.
If you want the same thing that I want, let's go together. Now it got to the point that the 5 or 6 guys, each one picked now, and the ones that were there before I got into it with them, they say, well, how you bringing him? I play this. I say, well, you can play this over there. Right now, he's going to play it. Why? I say, because he lives it. You just come to make money. He lives it.
Yeah.
That's 2 different things. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. It's the difference.
Anyway, I don't want to get carried away with it, but each guy was picked specifically because of their feeling, their hearts, and their desire to make it happen. You put those minds together. Now, I learn from you, you learn from me, he learns from him. You know, they get into it. All of a sudden, you're cooking on every song. Yeah. Now we also learn the style of the producers. When the producer come in or a writer and he say, man, I want to do this, like this, like this, they pick up his style. They'll get that and say, I've seen them take the lead sheet or the music sheet, put it aside. Yeah, they know how it's going. Now let's get in it. And they get playing, and it turns into a whole nother ball game.
Yeah,
you see,
that's
gifts. That's gifts being developed and worked for its natural purpose in your body, in your heart. I say God gave it to you. You can say whatever you want to say, but we all got gifts for a reason. When you find it and you work with it, you can lose.
That's
you
right.
Got it?
That's right.
And when you find others with the same gifts, it gets greater. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to get carried away, but
that's all right.
You carry on. We're here for you, Mickey. At the end of the day,
yeah. I mean,
more
you've helped change people's lives. You know,
absolutely. You mentioned it already. Your kind of move now you've made towards stage music and stage musicals. What was your sort of reasoning behind moving to the stage, moving to that era? Was there anything particular that drew you into it?
Yes. When I left Motown, came to California, I went into, they had a building in the ghetto that the city gave to the people in the ghetto that they could use it to do sing and dance and stuff like that. It was like a token gift to them. And they had a guy named Cliff Rockmore, who was from Detroit. He was in charge of the theater part. They had someone in charge of dancing, and people could come, young people could come and learn, no charge, and develop the arts. And at the same time they were doing, Cliff was handling shows, not musical, but just shows, theater stuff. Mm-hmm. And I knew him from Detroit. So when I came in, he said, why don't you come by, man? Because the artists, the young people would love to hear you speak and say something because they love your music, and it would be a joy for you to come in and just say something to them. So I said, okay. So I went to the building, Inner City Cultural Center, it was called. And they had an auditorium, and he brought me on the stage, and I spoke and I talked. They said, how'd you do this? Or how'd you write that? And they had 1,000 questions. And I said, listen, I'll come back and we'll go right now. I'll tell you what, I'll give you more information. But right now, let me see what you're doing. So they got on stage and they did a moment of a play that they were all working in with. And one of the students said, could you write a song for us for this show right here? And I said, write a song? I said, well, this is theater. I mean, I do regular shows, but this is, you're acting. And they said, just one song so we can have something to work with.
Yeah.
And so Cliff said, man, why don't you write him a song? And I said, okay, let me see a couple of scenes. So he did a couple of scenes. And I said, okay, I'll put a song right there. I'll write a song for that moment right there. I said, now I'm going to write a song about what you're doing. So in the song is what you're doing. So you don't have to turn around and then talk dialogue the same thing. I'm going to give it to you in song. You can move on with your show past that point. He said, what do you mean? I said, I'll show you. So I wrote him a song. Whatever, I can't remember the song, but at that moment in the show, the song came up. And they loved it. And the artists gave him an ovation and all that. So that I said, okay, They said, could you write us another one? I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. So it got, to cut his long story short, it got around now, and I'm sitting watching plays being developed and saying, well, why would you not say that, put that into a song? And then, so I find myself with Cliff Rockmore and these young, talented people. I found myself in a whole nother world. When they ran out of money and they couldn't do certain things with the show, I say, okay, I tell the owners, not the owners, but the people that's running it, Cultural Center, I say, look, I will pay for that for them. Just open it up. You just charge for an artist to come in and see them, and I give them my money back. They said, well, that's going to be X amount of $1,000. I said, that's not your problem. That's my problem. So I would do that because I was learning something from them. That's my whole point of this conversation.
Wow.
It got to the point, now let me tell you some of the people that were in this theater, this cultural center. Forrest Whitaker, Josephine Baker. These were younger people at this point, right?
Right.
And now I'm showing them, we start developing. And it got to the point that the shows that I did were really happening. So the people from the city would come and see these plays. And I found myself in a whole nother world of entertainment.
That's right.
But it was good for me because I could see them develop. And I did a show called Swan, LG Swan. I took Jackie Wilson, Teddy Pendergrass, blah, 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 made a whole character who was a great performer on stage, real asshole off stage, right? So I had this going. But Forrest was so good. When it was over, he came to me one day and he said, man, would you manage me? I said, Forrest, I don't know nothing about managing actors and stuff like that. I'm in a whole nother place. Yeah. I say, but you see this video? You show this to whoever you want to handle you. And if they can't understand how good you are, go someplace else. I say, because you're incredible. That was the beginning of his career, is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
And about 5 different artists, all of them made it in the film industry because of working at that inner city cultural center. And by the grace of God, me being there, giving them what I knew.
Yeah, but man, you got to write some songs for it too.
It's in the book. It's all, everything I'm telling you, it's all in here. All right?
We go put. Are you still like mentoring young people today?
Sometimes went to USC College. They asked me would I come and speak, and I went to. I thought it was going to be like 20 minutes. When I saw that energy in there and all that wanting to know from all those students, I think I stayed there about an hour. Yeah. And I answered all their questions.
I love
and they were, and they were just, and they had great questions. Yeah. And I told them it's not the end result, but this is to give you an idea of how to think. And my main line was, no matter who you are, with your gifts, you got 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours to work. Now, what are you doing with the other 8?
Right.
If you only spend an hour or 2 on your gift, it ain't going nowhere. No. You spend 3 or 4 hours on it, you can make a living, You spend more, nothing can stop you. So you got to figure out what you want to do with your time. That's it, man. Now, those who spend more than that hour or 2 and get into it, and all of a sudden it's part of their life, it's on. Nobody can stop you. Nobody.
That's right. So
you can go from 0 to dollars, but between that, joy and happiness as a person is even greater than the money. You got it?
My mom used to say it's 24 hours in a day. If you don't take 8 hours out for yourself, by the time you get to the end of your life, look back, you make sure everybody else was taking care of you, didn't take care of you.
She's absolutely correct. So now me personally, I can spend 24 creating. I tell you why. It is a joy. People say to me, even at Motown, they say, man, you're always working. How could, it's 8 o'clock and you still here. I say, it's working to you. It's joy to me.
Yeah.
What you talk about? Me and Holland and those and Smokey and them, sometimes we would never leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We go get some and go grab some food and bring it back. You know what I mean? We're supposed to go to our homes and our relationships, but we'd say to, hey, sweetheart, why don't you come on down here? I'm right in the middle of this summer. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Oh, Mickey.
It's a whole other world. You got me?
Yeah.
But you got to spend that time. That's all. You got to. Once you get into it, you're on. And it doesn't have to be music. It could be anything that the gift has given you. If you spend time on it,
yeah,
nothing can stop you.
Absolutely.
You got to do that movie.
Your book has got to become a movie. Mickey.
Yeah. Well, I've turned down like a few people I didn't want to deal with it because they want to bring in some drugs and some shooting and all that kind of stuff. I said, forget it.
Yeah.
You stick to the book or no. Yeah, but you can make a lot of money. I don't need your money, my friend. Yeah. God took care of me. My job is to make sure that the people need to know how it works.
That's exactly.
So for that, you can't pay me more to throw in some stuff that's not really real. You know, some drugs or some this and that. No. Because believe in yourself, feel for yourself, spend time on what your dream is, go for it, stay away from negative forces. That's what you learn from this right here.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do, be a doctor, a lawyer, a musician, whatever. If you don't spend that time to develop those gifts given you, it's over.
Yeah. I love it because your passion for music is just, contagious, right? It's like I want to be a part of what you're doing too, right? You know what I mean? So, but Tom, get another one in.
Oh, I was just going to ask back to your book slightly for you, Mickey. How long did it take to write? And was it a long process to write it? Was it obviously what was the process behind that?
Well, it didn't take long once I got into it. My daughter, when I first started writing, putting stuff down there, she took the book. She said, okay, Dad, what is this? I said, I'm writing a book. She said, Dad, write like you talk.
Oh.
I said, what do you mean? She says, if you write like you talk, people will get way past all this stuff and they'll get into it personally. If you write like other people write, then it won't be the same.
That's right.
So I said, okay. So I said, now, I say, man, I don't like that shit. I think it should be, she said, write like you talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started doing that, Yeah. And every time she looked at it, she said, okay, this is not you right here. Come on, you read like a news reporter. Could you rewrite this part right here again, please? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once I got the flowing with it, and you'll see, I write like a talk. And everybody said, man, this is great. You ought to do a talk version. My wife keeps telling me the same thing.
Audio version, definitely.
If I do a talk version, I gotta have some music behind me. I gotta do, I gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll get into it, but I got tons of music here. I got about the best arrangers in the world. I have a studio in the back of my house. And I said, well, if I do it, I have to go back there and find which tune going to be behind this dialogue right here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a production.
Absolutely. Yeah. It could be fantastic, Mickey. It really could.
Yeah, because you can direct it to yourself.
Yeah, right. So I want to do it. I'm going to start maybe next week. I'll get into it. Right now, I'm working on these plays and shows that I'm dealing with. So, but I'm going to get into it because she's convinced me that to do it my way. You know what I mean? Underscore. You know, when you're talking at a certain point, put a little underscore there. You know what I mean?
She's right. She's right.
Absolutely. How do people see what you're doing? Are you on any kind of social media outlets, anything like that?
Well, I gotta, pull up Mickey Stevenson on your computer. Everything that's going on. I got some kind of something that my wife set up for me that you can find. When you pull me.
Okay.
It's there.
We'll get the links to your book into the description of this video. We'll also any websites like that, any kind of things that I can find, I will pop in the video into the description as well, so people can go off and find the A&R Man book there that you're displaying. I want to go off and buy a copy myself. That's incredible. It's it's definitely something. That
when you get it and you read, you call me back. We'll have great conversations.
I'll do that.
I'll do that. I can't talk about like this, but it's in the book. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it opens with Barry Gordy and Smokey talking about me, not me.
Yeah.
No.
They openly said, we're doing the first page. Barry did the first page, Smokey did the second page. I didn't know about that for maybe months.
Oh, wow.
Mickey, thank you for the privilege of your time, my brother, for coming on our show.
Yeah, fantastic.
We really appreciate it. And this has been wonderful. And hopefully we can stay in touch with you as soon as your your movie come out, we can promote that too.
Oh, that'd be great. And the plays. It's been great talking to you, fellas,
Great to
man.
meet you.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Much love. Much love.
Much love.